Strange RV tours will take you places with Greg and Janet's smiling faces. You might see a crazy flavored soda review or some tips to fit your RV too. So come along, won't you join us, friend, as we discover what's around the bend. Just sit right back in your easy chair. Strange RV Tours is on the air. Strange RV Tours is on the air.
Hey guys, Greg and Janet here. We decided to go on a cruise. This would have been about 1994 or 95, just kind of out of the blue. And it was actually the start of summer. I was a wallpaper contractor. Janet was working at a grocery. And we both needed a break. And so I told Janet, if you can find a cruise that we can go on, we'll do it. So she contacted a travel agent, and this was like on a Monday or Tuesday, and on Friday, we were going on a cruise.
We got great discounts.
Yeah.
Because there was only 2 staterooms left, and they actually discounted those. But it's like $700 rather than like
$2,200. Yeah.
$2,200, something like that.
Now the crazy part of this is that our stateroom, if you've ever been on a cruise, most people have the port windows looking outside, or they have a patio or balcony area outside.
Whatever, yeah.
Ours didn't.
It's a small cruise line.
I think our ship that we went on was probably built the year after the Titanic. It was an old ship. It was Commodore Cruise Line.
Commodore. Yeah. It was small.
Before, it had actually been deactivated and turned into a hotel in Russia. And then they decided to reactivate the boat and put it back into the cruise line. So our room was down probably where the motor in the boat was. I mean, it was literally, under the waterline.
We were way at the bottom.
Yeah. We had to go down 2 flights of stairs.
Yeah. Way underneath.
Yeah.
No windows. Nothing.
And you could hear, you could hear the boat moaning, and at times when it would, hit different waters. But ended up, I had to work the day before we went on the cruise. We lived in Dallas at the time. The cruise left out of New Orleans, so we didn't start driving down to New Orleans until about midnight the night before the cruise. I drove all night.
He was a grouch too when he got there.
I was.
I slept.
Yeah.
I slept all the way.
Yeah, she slept all the way. I got on the boat, and she said, "You ready to go have a good time?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I've been up for 24 straight hours working and driving. No, I want to take a nap." So I said, "You go have fun. I'm gonna take a nap." I went to sleep that afternoon.
And I got to do all the safety stuff, about the...
I know where this is going.
Yeah, all the safety stuff with how to put on your life jackets and, what happens when we go out to from the Mississippi into the Gulf and what to expect and all this. Well, I was asleep about midnight. And
yeah.
He had got up.
I woke up a little after midnight because our boat was sinking. I mean, it was lurching into the water at angles that a boat shouldn't be doing. And Janet slept like a baby. I woke up and I'm climbing the walls. I know that we're down in the bowels of the boat. We're not up on deck. And so I'm thinking, this thing, we got to get out of here before this thing turns into a submarine. And so I'm shaking Janet. She's like, what? And I said, come on, we got to go. This ship is sinking. No, it's not sinking. It's not sinking. She said, you'd hear alarms if it was sinking.
That's true.
And so anyways, I said, no, do you feel that? And she said, yeah, it's just rough water. I said, no, I'm going up there. She said, okay, put your life vest on. Go up there. And if it's sinking, come back down and get me.
That's good.
I'm thinking to myself, if I go up there and this thing's sinking, somebody else is going to have to go back down there and get it, because I'm going to be too scared to go back down there. But I go running up on the deck. I get up on the deck, and everybody on the boat is on the deck. Everybody is.
And they're drinking their
Champagnes and wines and I come bursting out the doors looking like I'm on fire. I'm so panicked that
he's in his jammies.
Yes.
He's all like tightened up with the life vest.
Yes.
And he comes out.
I'm not joking. This guy turns around to me. He says, "Oh, you come dressed for the party." And I'm like, "What's going on?" And he says, "Oh, look at the lights." And everybody's looking out into the Gulf of Mexico at all the oil derricks are all lit up. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Well, what's with the rough waters?" And they said, "Oh, well, when we enter the Gulf of Mexico, we hit waves coming the opposite direction, so the boat will lurch up and down."
Yeah, coming down from the Mississippi, going out. Yeah, I already knew about that, but there's no convincing this man when he's in a panic. He's in a panic.
And you know what? I just embarrassed myself in front of the entire boat.
And
for the next day and a half, I was looking over my shoulder trying to make sure there wasn't somebody that had been out there that night on that boat when I was out there.
Nah.
So
that was funny.
Anyhow, so that was my
initiation.
Opening night to the boat.
Yeah. But the one thing that we learned right away, you wanted to be in some like blackjack tournaments and stuff like that.
Ping pong tournaments.
Something, yeah, he's good at ping pong too. And we didn't sign up right away, not knowing that, you better sign up right away because everything fills up. And it did. Pretty much did. Yeah. We couldn't go to any of the shows because they were all booked up. We couldn't go to any of the tournaments or anything on deck, on the ship. But there's excursions we could go on.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, that was the most frustrating vacation I've ever had. Because we didn't sign up for any of the events. Well, when you're at sea for 2-3 days at a time, that's all there is to do on a boat, is those extracurricular events. The ping pong tournament, the blackjack tournament, the dance, the swimming pool,
dance shows or comedy shows. And
now we did get in some of those.
We got into comedy shows.
Yeah. But the main part of the mundane part of the day, there was nothing to take that mundaneness away except Red Stripe beer. And I discovered Red Stripe beer on that trip, and that's the only way I made it through that vacation.
Now, you did go gamble the first night.
I did good the first night.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we had some passengers that had told us, if you're going to gamble on the first night, because they'll tighten up the slot machines after the first night. And boy, did they. So you get that first night, though, those slot machines, you could just hear them ching, 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 just paying off winners, and you didn't hear them much the rest of the trip.
And then, but now, you ended up losing money. Now, fess up, how much did you really lose?
I just lost $300 or $400.
Oh, now, I thought it was only like $200.
Well, maybe it was at the time. $300 or $400 in today's money.
Okay.
So, but
inflation, huh?
Our second day on the cruise, the boat sheriff, I don't know what you'd call him.
What do you call it? Security.
Yeah, the boat cop, the guy that locks people away in jail on a cruise ship. He comes over to where we're sitting and we're enjoying the balcony, drinking a Red Stripe, of course. And he comes over. He says, "Have you guys seen anybody throwing vacuum cleaners off the boat?" And we're like, No. And what we didn't think about was, like he told us, he said, this is the first week of summer. And he said almost half of everybody on the boat has graduated high school and they're here for their summer trip.
And they can drink on the boat because you're off
international water.
Yeah, you're in international. Man.
So they started daring each other who could throw the most vacuum cleaners off the boat.
Yeah.
And so this guy was looking for them. And so we told him no, that we hadn't seen anything like that, you know. And so he leaves, and I'm not joking, it wasn't 20 minutes later, we're sitting there, and a vacuum cleaner just goes, plop, right into the water, just from up the deck above, right over our heads into the water. So I go looking for the boat cop.
Yeah, I look like this, you know, I can't tell who did what. It's a bunch of kids.
And the boat cop, really wonderful gentleman. I think he's from South Africa.
Nigeria, I think.
Nigeria or South Africa, yeah.
I think he's a nice guy.
Really a nice guy. But anyways, the rest of my cruise, every time I saw him, he would either look at me and point and give me the eye like, you seen anybody throw one off yet? Or else I'd look at him, I say, you catch anybody yet? And this went every day, 2 or 3 times a day. I'd pass him and I'd look at him and he'd look at me, and it became kind of a running joke, you know.
Yeah.
And,
okay, so where did we go first?
Our first excursion was Playa del Carmen.
Yeah.
Playa del Carmen in the summertime is a lot like visiting the sun.
Oh my gosh.
It's unbelievably hot. We went to the Mayan ruins.
Right, and driving there was scary as you know what, because there were armed guards along the route, and that was terrifying. I go like, what is the deal? You know, not knowing how their military and their whole government's run at that time. That was scary. But going down there was beautiful, except for the armed guards, you know, lining the highways. But
and iguanas, lots of iguanas.
Gila monsters,
dragons. I call these things dragons. Some of the
Gila monsters too.
They have lizards there that are 4 and 5 feet long.
Yeah, but the Gila monsters were only about that big. But in New Mexico, they have a lot of those.
Yeah.
And these had a little bit different color tone to their skin. They have the stripes on, and you know, and they're dangerous. But they were all over that pyramid.
Yeah.
But hot, man, was it hot and humid.
Yeah.
Don't go during summer.
Crazy hot. I mean, crazy hot.
I mean, like, I was like...
Yeah. When we got back to the ship, that night was our first encounter with Jean-Claude.
Yes.
On a cruise, they seat you at a table, and you have 2 or 3 other couples that are sitting with you at your table.
And that's where you sit the whole time for your meals. You're assigned to your areas. So...
And one of the kids that was sitting at the table with us was a 17, 18-year-old kid that had just enlisted into the Marines and didn't know not to get the haircut ahead of time. So he got the haircut ahead of time. And there was another guy there that was former Marine, and he kept telling us, oh, this poor kid, he does not know what he's in for. He should never have gotten his hair cut before he showed up. Oh my gosh. He said he's going to last 2 days and he'll be out. And so anyways, this kid was, you know, but our host at our table, Jean-Claude was his name.
He looked like, just like Jean-Claude.
Just like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
And
man,
this kid that's going into the Marines that's sitting at our table was a real shy kid. He was on the cruise with his mom. It was their vacation before going into the military. And Jean-Claude took him under his wing, and that night took him to the nightclubs and actually set him up with 3 dates that night. So
yeah, that guy was set.
Yeah.
This kid was so shy. I go, he's not going to make it. No. Well, maybe the Marines would tough him up some. But my gosh, I go, no way is he going to make it. No way. Especially with that haircut already. Oh my gosh. Poor guy.
Okay, so then the next day, we went to Cozumel. Loved Cozumel. Went to Senor Frog's there. We had the wildest, craziest cab ride I've ever had in my life there.
Oh, Volkswagen.
Yeah, I didn't realize that a Volkswagen would do 140 miles an hour. I mean, these cab drivers down in Cozumel are unbelievable. I mean,
it was a thrill ride.
Oh, he drove faster backwards than I do on the freeway forwards.
We had a good time with him.
Had a really good time. We bought some jewelry there, bought a really nice watch there, and then
cigars.
Then I found the Cuban cigars.
Yes.
There's a place right next to the dock there in Cozumel that sells Cuban cigars. And they were like $10 a piece for really nice Churchills. Big Churchill cigars. What they do for you, when you purchase them, they take the Cuban wrapper off of them, put a Dominican wrapper on them so you can get them back in the States. I'm thinking, oh, man, I've struck gold, you know. I've never even had a cigar in my life, but, you know, these things are like worth their weight in gold, you know. So I'm taking these back. I'm going to give them to some of my business associates. Man, I'm going to be the top dog, right?
Yeah. He had some builders that he wanted to impress, so
yeah,
he's gonna give them, you know, there's like 3 different companies, so you had 3 cigars, right? So,
and then we were at sea for a couple days, so there was a couple more days of. Did you catch anybody yet?
I got to lay out, drink some like Bloody Marys or pina coladas to get my son. I was like, nobody asking me questions, showing him where to pick something up in the aisles of the grocery store.
But by this point in time, though, like starting to get towards almost midweek of the week-long cruise, we have now met another couple on the cruise. They're wonderful people from Alabama. They're just, you know, rednecks like us, you know. And so anyways,
like a hole in the wall.
This couple, the husband and I, started hanging out with each other on the balconies or the patios while the girls were sunbathing all day. We were just having a competition to see who could get drunker. You know, honestly, I'd order Red Stripes and he'd order Red Stripes and I'd order Red Stripes, and then, you know, if we saw the wives coming our way, you know, one of us would nudge the other one, straighten up, and we'd act like we were half sober, you know, until they passed, and then it was get some more Red Stripes. You know, that's the way those days at sea were. They were so boring, and you want a break from it, you can go to your room and turn on the TV. Everything's in Spanish, and there's only 1 or 2 channels, and so there was just nothing. She loved it. She loved no cooking, time of her life, you know. And I'm trying to find a way to get off this boat.